Okay, today we are going to discuss about modeling. We'll start basic modeling today. Are you getting my voice, Ma? Okay, we'll start modeling today onwards. We have discussed about interface of Maya, and now we'll start modeling. Now, for doing modeling, we have already discussed we have to take primitive objects which are pre-built in Maya software. So we have to use that primitive objects and we have to make the models. And today we are going to make a simple table model. For that table itself seems to be square or rectangle. So the related object for a square and rectangle, that is nothing but a cube. So we are going to take a cube. So actually I have changed my settings according to my workflow. So I'll get back to default settings. Yeah, now I'm going to take a cube. By just clicking on the cube, we can have the cube here on grid. And Alt left mouse button for rotating, and right mouse button for zooming, and middle mouse button for translation up and down. So here is our object, and we have to make a table by using this object. And here we have the channels for this cube. And coming to here we have inputs of a polygon cube, because this cube name is polygon cube 1 default. So it seems to be like that only. Suppose if we change the name here, then here also name will be changed. So now we are not doing that. Just clicking on that, we can have inputs. So width, height, and depth, what these things will do for our cube. First selecting width, and coming to here work area, middle mouse button, drag. So width is increasing. Okay, 12.2 in sense this is actually default Maya will take in centimeters. The values which we are giving here, which we are having these values, these are in centimeters. Okay, maybe I think yeah, that is enough for our table, and coming to height, okay, making that, and depth, maybe that much tabletop we have. Now actually by default it is created in the origin, of a grid. Now I want to make this one like a little bend here, half of the part of height. I need to make some little bend here, 0.8. Maybe I can make this one as a 1. So little depth will giving here, little height, and now for doing this we have to insert some segments. So for inserting segments, coming to here, subdivisions, height. Now we have only height, subdivisions of height, only one. Now I am going to take 2. See, observe what happens here. One subdivision is created in height direction. So make this one as a shaded mode. Now what I am going to do, right click on the object and select faces. I want to select only down face. Now you can understand clearly. This is a side face and this is a one more side face. This is top face. So I want to select only down face, and scale this one in all directions. For scaling we have to press R on keyboard. For uniformly scaling in all directions we have to select the middle box and scale inwards. So that I want to make a little bend in downside of the tabletop. Okay, I think it is enough. Now actually whatever the objects in our real life should not be like this sharp edge, like a blade, like a sharp edge. There will be little bit curve, there will be little bit of smoothness. So we have to apply that smoothness to our tabletop. Right click, coming to object mode, and I want to apply that bevel, that smoothness to all edges. Right click, select edges, and mark you select everything. Now all edges are selected. Now coming to here in main menus, edit mesh, click on edit mesh, coming to here bevel option is here, and click on option box, edit reset settings, bevel. Now the bevel is applied to our tabletop. Now here in inputs, bevel channel box is opened. Here we will adjust the curviness, the roundness, and segments, offset the things to make the tabletop more smooth. To do that, here we have segments. Select the segments. By increasing segments, it comes like that. Do not give more segments unnecessarily, because while rendering it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of system's memory, so should not give unnecessary segments. Maybe I think 5 is enough for our table. And going to offset things by just 3 only. That is enough. Now coming back to object mode, now we can observe smoothness on edges. So we will have smoothness on our tabletop. Now this is our tabletop we have created, and we need to create legs for this table. So for creating legs, I'm going to take again this cube. The cube is created here, but we are not been able to see properly because it is created in the origin by default, and our tabletop also there, so we are not been able to see properly. By pressing 4 key on the keyboard, we will get into wireframe mode. Then we can see the cube, which we are taking for making the legs of the table. Now move that one. Now we are not been able to see properly where the leg has to placed it. So for observing that, we are going to 4 panel view. Now in front view and side view and top view, we have been able to see properly. Now we need to increase this cube height. So inputs, height, select height, and give the value. maybe this one is too height, make this one as move up to there. Maybe we can make a little bit taller. We are increasing the value in height, and by pressing spacebar, whatever the view our cursor is, that view will be enlarged. So we are in a side view. So in side view, we are getting the so adjust properly. And what I am thinking is this is equally all sides are equal. So I don't want to look like this. It should have some twist and bend in the down. So I want to make that one. Right click. Selecting object, and we have to select a vertex. Only selecting down vertex, and going back to our perspective view, press 5 for getting the shaded view. Now press R for scaling, and in middle box scale like that, so that uniformly scales in the legs down portion. Now again press W, and I think it should have a little bit outwards, giving some angle. Coming to foreviews, and in front view, selecting front view, yeah. Now again right click and make this one as object mode, and select the whole thing and move little bit outside. And I think it seems to be a little bit of height. So right click, select vertex, only select down vertex, and move up little bit. Maybe I think this height is enough for this tabletop. Yes. Now going back to object mode, we have to make 4 legs like this. First mark you select both, and move a little bit up. inside view or front view, whatever the view. Make our leg should be on the origin line, so that we are we are taking this origin line as a ground. Now for leg also, we have to smooth the edges for this leg also. So right click and select edges. Do not do that because two objects are selected. We have to select only leg. Right click and select edge. Now all edges are selected for the leg, and should not select top edges. You are seeing this, the blue color square that is not selected. Suppose if we select like this and top and bottom are not selected, so we need bottom and four sides. So we have to select mark you select bottom also. We should not select top. When edges are selected, and I'm going back to edit mesh, bevel, option box, edit reset settings, bevel. Now bevel is applied. Now like earlier, we have to give some segments to that leg. Not much, we're giving 4 and make little bit offset. Maybe it's also 4. Yeah, that's it. Now right click and go to object mode. Now you can observe smoothness. Smoothness on leg corners. So now we have to copy this leg. Now selecting leg, for duplicating, Control D. See, already duplicated in this leg, and for placing here this side in the exact value, what we want to do, we want to make this duplicated object as a group. For doing group, Control Z, pressing Control plus Z, that is grouped, and press W for translation manipulator. When it is grouped, the pivot point placed in the origin of our grid. Okay, now simply we can mirror this to this side. So actually, which side we have to give the value? Here seeing X shows the manipulator, red color shows the side. So we have to place this side. Actually in the grid, right side is positive values and left side is negative values. So in X direction, we have to give minus X, minus 1. So the duplicated leg is placed exactly, the exactly what the original leg is placed in the values. Okay, now we have two legs and select both legs and make this one Control D. That means we have duplicated both legs, and now press Control Z for grouping those both legs, and this time you can observe blue color seems to be here in manipulator Z direction. So we have to give the reciprocal value for that Z direction. See here, scale Z, like this one, minus 1. So we have not been finished our table yet. We have to do little more work for this. Okay. Now I'm going to add some little more modeling to this table, and here I want to make I want to close this one little bit. Here I want to close this one. So, and at this time, whatever I am uh, doing, those things should be created, generated on top of that selected object. For doing that, select this top and here we have some options are there. This one, this magnet last option is make see make the selected object live. By pressing this one, this object is now become live. Now we are not been able to select, we are not been able to do anything on this object. Again clicking this one, it comes in normal position. This command also we can take from here, or selecting the top we can make this command from here also. Modify, make live. Okay, now it becomes a live object. Again we want to come back to from that live object, modify, make not live. Okay, both commands are same, whether we are using this one and modify taking this one, whether whatever it may be, both commands are same. Why we are doing this one? Now I want to create something on top of this object, not here on grid. So I want to make this one live. Now I have to take this one. See, this is again creating at the origin. So delete that one. Now we have to make some adjustments here. Coming to here, create polygons, and in the down interactive creation. So switch on that one, interactive creation. Now create from here, create polygons, cube. Yeah, okay, maybe make this one little more small. Okay. First of all, make this one unlive. Now select our created object and right click, select vertex, select only down vertex because I want to adjust height. Make this one little bit. I think this is enough. Okay, object mode. Now press R for getting the scale. Now scale this one little bit because we have gaps at edges. So closing that one, we have to, this is enough. By pressing 4, we can identify whether our it should not penetrating anywhere, and it is good. And for this also we have to make this object edges also smooth. But for this only two edges are visible to us, so we have to apply bevel to those edges only, because unnecessarily we are not being able to apply any I mean any commands, any modifications to any model, whatever the model, because while rendering it takes a lot of time. So keep in mind, and we have to whatever which is visible to us, for that only we are making some adjustments. By selecting our object and right click, edges, select only these two edges. See, by pressing 4 we are go back to wireframe mode, then we can easily identify how many edges are selected. Only bottom two edges are selected. That is good. And now press 5 for getting back to shaded mode. Now going to edit mesh. Select bevel, option box, edit, reset settings, bevel. Now again coming to inputs, give the segments, maybe 5 is enough. And here comes to offset, like this one. Three is enough. Right click and coming back to object mode. Now we can see the smoothness at the edges. Okay, now we have to copy this one to other side, selecting that one, Control D, duplicated, and Control Z, and which direction? Here red one, that means X direction, scale X minus 1. So this is placed. Now select this one, Control D and Control Z. Just selecting Control D and move inside. We are not grouped, we just make that one duplicate and rotate this one in Y direction 90 degrees. So press W for aligning the other side. Now we are going to 4 views. Right click, select vertex, align these things exactly to previous sides. Select this side and actually this is the that side border and this has to align on that border. right click and make this one object mode. Again, coming back to perspective view. Same thing has to be copied to other side. So for that, taking this one and Control D for duplicating, Control Z, and now this is in Z direction. So scale Z in -1. So now our table is finished. Now actually legs are different objects and side panels are different objects and tabletop is a different object. I want to make this one table as one object. So for doing that, first select everything, and coming to here, outliner. Here we have everything. So make everything selection, Control Z, and here in modify, edit, delete all by type, history, and edit, delete all by type, history. So this is only we need, so we don't want all these things. Now select delete all by type, history, select delete all by type, history, delete all by type, history. Okay. Now we only have one object, that is group 5. This is nothing but a table. whenever we are selecting in outliner table, whole table will select. Suppose if we select this another things, the objects will select. So we don't want that. Now select table. Now we can move, we can scale, we can do anything with this table. And coming to here, I want to make this in layers. I want to keep this one in layers. So this last one, create a new layer and assign selected objects. By clicking, you can it can create one layer, like in Photoshop it creates one layer, and this object would be placed into that layer. Same thing will be doing by here also. Layers, selecting that, create empty layer will create, and second option is create layer from selected. Whatever the selected, with that selection, one layer will be created. So I'm doing just clicking this. See, this one layer is created and this one is attached to this layer. Here we have visibility. Suppose if we switch off visibility, our table will unvisible. So switch on visibility again, and here in layer select and name it as a table. We can give any color to that, and let's save. Table 001 because already exists, so it shows, so table 001. Save. Now in layers we have table 001 object. Suppose if you want to create a chair here, we can switch off this one and we will we can create the chair here. And this is for the X-ray mode, reference mode. For that we can switch on here. Now default should not make anything, just to make it as a layer. Okay, now tomorrow class, not tomorrow, next class, we'll create chairs for this table.